Welcome back, history enthusiasts. And if this is your first time with us, we're delighted to have you join us at Empires of Antiquity, where we bring the past to life through the stories of those who shaped it. Today we embark on a journey into the heart of the Hun Empire, not to discuss the infamous Attila, but to illuminate the life of a figure often overlooked, Bleda the Hun. Bleda was not merely Attila's brother, he was a warrior and a leader of considerable stature. A man whose life was marked by power and tragedy. His tale is one of ambition, rivalry, and a legacy that has been overshadowed by the relentless force of his brother. Attila the Hun, the very name, conjures images of devastation, ruthless conquest, and a fear that once shook the Roman Empire to its core. His story is legendary, but what history often forgets is that for a time Attila was not the supreme ruler of the Huns. He shared power, and that power once belonged to his elder brother. This is the story of Bleda the Hun, Attila's older brother, a man overshadowed by the legacy of his sibling, but whose life could have changed the fate of Europe. In 434 AD, after the deaths of their uncles Oktar and Ruga, the Hun Empire passed into the hands of two brothers, Bleda and Attila, sons of the warrior Mundzuk. The Huns were not merely a band of marauders. They were a sophisticated, fearsome force whose empire stretched from the plains of Hungary to the very edges of the Eastern Roman Empire. And at the time, Bleda was the senior ruler. By birthright, it was Bleda who held the greater power. Seniority among the Huns mattered. He was the elder, the primary ruler, and together with Attila they formed a powerful pair. Their first significant act was negotiating the Treaty of Margus with the Eastern Roman Empire, a deal that secured a substantial annual tribute from the Romans in exchange for peace. Gold and power flowed into the Hunnic coffers, but this was a delicate peace, built on tribute, threats and fear. Bleda, skilled in diplomacy, seemed to understand that the Huns could wield power without constant war. For a time, the empire thrived under this shared leadership. But power shared between brothers is never simple. In the early years of their joint reign, a pattern emerged. Bleda took on the role of diplomat, securing peace through careful negotiation with the Romans. His mind worked not through brute force, but through strategy, understanding that there were other ways to grow stronger besides endless warfare. Attila, however, was already showing signs of the man he would become. A fierce warrior, he was impatient with diplomacy, more interested in warfare and expansion than in political stability. Together they represented two halves of leadership, the diplomat and the conqueror. But even as they shared the throne, tensions simmered beneath the surface. The Hunnic Empire was vast, but its power rested on unstable foundations. Alliances with tribal leaders, a delicate peace with Rome, and a constant need to prove dominance. And as Attila's ambition grew, so too did the cracks in their relationship. By the mid-40s, the tension between the brothers became unbearable. Power sharing, even among family, is a fragile arrangement. In 445 AD, Bleda died under mysterious circumstances. Some say he perished in battle, others claim he died of natural causes, but many believe it was something far more sinister. Some say Attila, already thirsting for more power, orchestrated his brother's death. Fratricide, brother killing brother, was not uncommon in the ancient world. Whether through treachery or fate, Bleda was gone, and with him any hope of balance in the Hunnic Empire. Attila was now free to unleash his ambitions upon the world. But what if Bleda had survived? What if, instead of Attila's brutal campaigns, the Huns had been guided by Bleda's more calculated hand? Bleda, with his diplomatic skill, could have steered the Hunnic Empire into a different future, one of stability rather than terror. Some historians speculate that under Bleda's leadership, the Huns might have transformed from a nomadic empire of raiders into a lasting state, integrated with the Roman world. Would Europe have seen a different future? Would Rome have survived a little longer? These questions linger unanswered in the shadows of history. In the end, it was Attila's name that was etched into history. His conquests, his savagery, his relentless ambition, all overshadowed his brother. But Bleda's role should not be forgotten. It was his diplomacy that laid the foundation for the Huns' early successes. Without Bleda, there may never have been an empire for Attila to claim. Bleda's story is a reminder of how easily history can forget the figures who worked in the background, the men whose legacies are swallowed by the ambition of others. If Bleda had lived, perhaps history would remember him as the true architect of the Hun Empire. So what do you think? Could Bleda have been the ruler the Huns, and perhaps even Europe, needed? Or was his death the turning point that unleashed the terror of Attila? Let us know your thoughts and join us in exploring more untold stories from the pages of history.